You are now listening to About That Business, hosted by Rom Wills. Rom Wills is an entrepreneur and personal coach who has helped people reach their fullest potential personally and professionally. Take it away, Rom.
Today, I want to tell y'all, always look for the next step. And that's very important when you're in business. When you're in business, you always want to go to the next level, and you always want to pay attention to stuff, right? I'm going to tell a brief story, right? YouTube, right? Now, I remember when I first started on YouTube, that was like the land of milk and honey. That was the golden road and stuff. I mean, that's when I remember when I first started and, realized how much money people were making. People were making like several hundreds on videos. If they had enough videos out, they making like several hundred a day. I remember one prominent YouTuber said if he didn't make 200 in one day, he that was a bad day for him. I mean, you think about 200 just to talk some smack for 15 minutes, because that's what he was doing. Shit. So it was looking great, right? And I remember when I first started, I still had part-time. It wasn't a part-time job, but it was a day job. I always called it a day job. And I saw it as part-time anyway, because, my main thing was my businesses, but I wasn't making enough with my business, my publishing and everything to just be out here, right? So, YouTube was helping me out in that regard, right? And I remember I was like about to leave with the money I was making from YouTube. I was like, okay, I can finally take that step, right? Then all of a sudden, the ad apocalypse hit. Y'all remember when that big ad apocalypse hit? Because it was around the same time there was a group of black women talking about they were like getting people's channels snatched. And it was just good timing for them. It was just good timing, right? But it made a big difference in money. I was like, oh, shoot, look at this, right? But it didn't hurt me too much, because that's about that time I went to doing on-demand videos. Of course, YouTube took that option away too. So it's just like, But because I was always looking for the next step, that's when I transferred videos over to Vimeo. Now I make them over there. And because I'm over there, I'm about to take another next step with a subscription site. Right, with subscription service, and have a different type of videos on there, right? And so I'm just like, had to do what I had to do. But you always have to do that, and that's in any business. Say you in the carpet cleaning business, right? You can't be complacent just with that one machine. It probably cleans rugs good, and you're doing a good job, got some stuff, but you gotta take that next step. It's like, all right, how can I increase this? And it might be two next steps you take. Like if you like in some service like that, one is, getting more equipment, and then hiring some people. That way you can multiply yourself. So instead of just cleaning one house, your business is cleaning like 2 houses or 10 houses. The more people you can get in a day, right? That's one thing. But the next step could also be getting like, I don't know, some van or something that can carry stuff, or then having accessories, or getting new equipment. See, you always got to think, how can I make this better? How can I make this better? What's next out there? You can't get complacent. You see, I've seen a lot of business people get complacent. Like, okay, with like that YouTube thing, that hit a lot of people hard. That hit a lot of people hard, because a lot of people that were living solely off of that. So when that ad apocalypse hit, there was some people crying, right? But you always got to think, especially when you're dealing with, if you have a business and it's dealing with a platform like YouTube or even something like Amazon now, Amazon is pretty much going to be there for a while. But you also got to think, okay, what if they change up something? What alternatives do I have to get my stuff out, right? See, you gotta think in those terms and everything. You always gotta. You can't think, oh, this will be it, right? Like you could have a food restaurant in the neighborhood, right? But what happens if I'll say the ethnic background of the neighborhood change, right? Like I've lived in some neighborhoods. It was mostly Hispanic. So, and they'll have a different type of food or something, right? So anybody serving something that they weren't necessarily eating, they would have went out of business. But then you always have to look, okay, how can I adapt? How can I adapt? What changes are happening? What's the next step? And that's all the time. That's every time. Like even now, I'm not complacent. Like what I got now is pretty good. Now I'm always thinking, okay, what can I do to tweak it? What can I do to tweak it? What can I do to make it better? So I always go to another level. Like for those who on my private site, I was getting a regular subscription from everybody, but I was like, how can I make this better? Oh, okay. I started doing webinars just for them, and I plan to do some webinars for the general public at some point. All right. It's always think about that next level. Always think about that next level because, one of the things too, if you don't, keep in mind, regardless of what business you're in, there's always competition. And so you always got to think, I got to beat out the competition. Using that carpet cleaner example, there's somebody who might come with a better, more efficient machine. So what are you going to do when they do and they advertise people like it better? You're in trouble. And, we talk about business failure. That's a big reason why a business can be around for a long time, but then because they don't adapt, because they don't change with the times, or they don't upgrade something, they go out of business. And it happens a lot. It happens a lot. So, and that's something, especially a sole proprietor, you getting out there hustling. Always, I don't care how much money you here's a general rule of thumb. If you find a groove or something that's going to be a real money maker with you, think about what you're going to do to enhance it. Right? Think of what you're doing. I mean, I'm constantly thinking about what I'm doing I can do to enhance stuff. So, anyway, right? Always look for that next step. Y'all know what to do. Let's go make that money.